Welcome back to Teaching Orchestra. We're here in the lab, and if you haven't watched the first video on the brush stroke, make sure to watch that first. Today's video is going to be about spiccato and how do we bounce the bow, which is one of the most basic off-the-string techniques that we see. Now, we're going to start this with a brush stroke, so if your students haven't learned the brush stroke yet and they're not confident with the brush stroke, get them confident with that too, and then spiccato comes later. It's because we have to have the fundamentals in place with the brush stroke before we can start to move on to the bounce. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just make sure they can do a brush. So we're just going to say, all right, set the bow on the D string. Okay, set, brush, reset, brush. Good. And then, say, okay, they're doing fine with that. Now we're going to add something to that. We're going to do a brush bounce. Okay? So the first one is controlled off the string, and the next one bounces. And what this does is it shows that, obviously, every note is going to start on the string. We're never going to start a note off the string. And so how do we get off the string to start bouncing? We need a brush stroke to brush, and then we start bouncing the rest of the notes for spiccato. You don't bounce the first note, ever. Okay, so we're just going to do brush, bounce, down, up, ready, and. Okay, reset, ready, and. Good. And then we're going to brush the up bow and bounce down just to balance it out on both sides. So brush, bounce, up, down, two, ready, and. Good. Up, down, ready, and. Good. Again, and. Good. And watch your students watch to make sure that they're staying relaxed and that they're not stiffening up, because on the bounce, if they're stiff, they're not going to be able to control the bow height. Okay, so once they've got confident brush, bounce, and they can kind of do it in tempo, we're going to do groups of 4 notes. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and, okay? Brush, bounce, bounce, bounce. 1, 2, ready, and. Very good, again, ready, and. Good, very good. Okay, so when they start getting confident with that, we need to be able to make sure that they can do this in all parts of the bow. So we're going to increase the challenge level a little bit and start staging exercises to get them to bounce in the same direction. And the reason for this is it's going to reinforce that relaxation process, and it's going to teach our students how to be consistent in different parts of the bow, because they're going to have to travel as they come down. So this one we're going to go down, down, up, up. So we're going to go brush, bounce, bounce, bounce. Okay, 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, again, reset. Brush, brush, bounce, bounce, bounce. Ready, and. Good. Down, down, up, up. Ready, and. Good. All right. And then we're going to do 4 and 4. So we're going to go down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. And again, we always start on the string. Ready? 2, set, and. Good, yeah. All right, and then once they get good with that, we're going to do 8 and 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. Down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ready? 2, set, and. Good. You have them repeated over, and the first few times it's like, ooh, I'm starting to feel stiff towards the upper half where the bow tends to be a little bit more active, and they'll learn how to kind of use their wrist and fingertips as a shock absorber to control it so they don't bounce too fast or too high or something like that. They're still able to stay nice and relaxed through this whole process. You're going to want to do this with varying tempos. Don't try to do this the same tempo the whole time. You're going to want to speed it up, slow it down to make sure that we have the full range of spiccato to work with as it applies to your concert music. Always better to start off within the reasonable slower side of things, not too slow where we're just bouncing, which is just basically a controlled arm motion. as the bow bounces kind of naturally, we're feeling that natural rebound within those tempi, but not as fast as a sautier. So stay within that range. And that will get your students to nice, clean spiccato, and that's really going to enhance your concert music and have a lot of things, a lot of passages, just bring out a lot of the color and character of those sections. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope your students are successful learning spiccato.